Hi, this is Dave Johnson with another edition of Math Off Topics. Today, I want to get a little personal and talk about how I came to know what calculus was and what my father's role in that was. Um, my dad was a chemical engineer, worked at chemical plants throughout the Midwest. We moved around a lot when we were kids, my three brothers and I. And he was a pretty quiet guy. He didn't really talk much about his work. Didn't take us on tours. This would be back before the internet, back before all that kind of stuff. And so when I was in high school, there was a book on one of our shelves in the house. It was uh, elementary calculus, and I didn't know what calculus was. We couldn't go online and just see a video of it or anything like that. And this book actually, it's a 1928 edition of Elementary Calculus by Woods and Bailey, which I've looked it up. It's kind of a classic now. Can't compare with modern textbooks in terms of size, but it has every topic that you might want. So I'd pull this book down from the shelf and look at it and wonder, what is this all about? And at that time in high school, I was thinking about studying either chemistry or physics, probably leaning toward physics. And so I asked my dad one day, "So what is calculus? What's it all about?" And so he thought about it for a moment, and then he said, "Well, you're interested in spacecraft, right? Rockets launching to the moon." This was in the 1960s and early 70s when Project Apollo had achieved its success, landing on the moon. Everybody was really excited about the space race and all of that. And he said, "Well, think about it this way. So you've got a rocket ship and it's full of fuel. And so let's say it blasts off. So as it's climbing through the atmosphere, it's generating thrust. And so the amount of fuel in the rocket is being reduced. And so there's less and less fuel, but the speed of the rocket is increasing. So it's accelerating. And not only that, but so the weight of the rocket is becoming less and less. And as you move upwards, the effect of gravity is going to be less. And because you're getting farther away from the center of the earth, right? And at the same time, the atmosphere is becoming thinner and thinner because we knew that the higher up in the atmosphere, the atmospheric pressure got less and less. And so as you're climbing, you're accelerating, right? So you're at a higher speed, but the speed of the rocket against the atmosphere creates more resistance. So you have to somehow take that into account. Um, and as you climb even further, the mass of the rocket's getting less and less. And finally, you drop off maybe the first stage and eventually the second stage. And now you're accelerating like crazy. And all of these changes, these rates of change, have to be predicted and combined somehow so that when you push that launch button, what's going to end up happening is when it's all over with, you're in orbit around the Earth. Now, how do you calculate that? You're not going to do that on pencil and paper, and you're not going to do it with one equation. It's going to take a lot of math. And all of those rates of change, all of those accelerations and changes in mass and changes in thrust and changes in atmospheric pressure, all of that has to be accounted for somehow. That's what calculus does. And now, those of you who know calculus will say, well, wait a minute, it's not quite that simple. You need differential equations. Well, my dad knew all about differential equations, but he was trying to keep it a little simple for me, maybe a sophomore in high school at that point. And so, yeah, you need calculus for differential equations, but all of that is tied together. Nowadays, they call that related rates or differential equations, however you want to think about it. And so, thanks, Dad. That really helped me get started. I never used this particular textbook, but I have a whole library now of calculus textbooks, and now I'm a calculus teacher. So may he rest in peace. Thank you again, Dad. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.